Last week I had 2 job interviews that I did not go to. And there are people who will say, "Oh, if you don't go to these, how can you get mad when you don't have a job or you don't get hired or whatever other thing they'll say." Um, what is interesting to consider is that they had some parallels. They both scheduled me for interviews in like the afternoon throughout the week, and these are group interviews where you have about 4, 5, 6 other people also there seeking the same job, which is I mean, from my personal experience, I've never been hired by somewhere that interviewed me with multiple other people. But I persevered and put up with their stuff, and they told me that they liked my performance during the first interview so much that they wanted to do another one with me. And the common trait with both of these interviews was that they tell you the night before to come in at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. the following morning. And during last week, we had a rainstorm. I think it was on either Tuesday or Wednesday, or possibly throughout most of the week. And I mean, I'm if it's a little bit of drizzle, whatever, sometimes you go outside and you can just feel stuff like dipping on you a little bit, but it's not really too pressing. But when it's just pouring, dousing rain, just I couldn't justify driving almost 30 miles in those weather conditions for an interview with a company that in all likelihood would not hire me. And I should also throw out the fact that I was scheduled for another interview, I believe on Tuesday or Monday of last week. And they were in person. They wanted me to show up to their building. I drove over there. I answered all their questions, right? They asked me when I could put in my 2 weeks on my current job. And sure enough, they told me that by Friday, I would hear back if I'd been hired. Friday passed. You can infer what the results of that were. And I had this relative who said, only someone who I guess they would consider to be desperate would put up with, having somewhere tell you the night before, come in at 8 a.m. the next day. But I said, desperation does not matter. The period of November and December of last year, I was desperate to get another job, and I drove to interviews that were far away. I drove to interviews that were set up at 7 or 8 in the morning on nights where I was getting off at, 10 and 11 and 12 o'clock, and it still didn't matter. It still made no difference. So I just don't see the point of going out of your way to keep talking to these people when they have demonstrated they can give you multiple interviews and still not hire you. Plus, I just think multiple interviews is dumb. Like, why? If we spoke over the phone or Zoom or whatever, and you liked our dialogue, why do I have to then come to your building to talk to you again? Like, what is the point of that? I don't know. It's just another reminder that we are in an era where the simplest things are made difficult for no reason other than just inconveniencing the people that need this stuff. And the only way to really get around it is to just not really put up with it. Because like I said, if I'm going to not get hired, I might as well not go out of my way to be further inconvenienced by driving over to this faraway place or that other. Already did that one time last week. And got the same results, because like I said, these jobs are not hiring people. Even when they say they are, they're not. I told the story of how I saw this fast food place, and they put up a now hiring sign right in their window. And I've never seen them put that up before. They're one of these franchises. And I go and I text the number that they told me to text. You fill all the information. They want your application number and availability, all this different stuff, right? And at the end of that process, at the end of filling all this crap out, they send me a message and they go, "Thank you for filling out our information. You've passed, and we'd like to set up an interview. Unfortunately, our interview calendar is full. We'll be reaching out to you within 3 business days." And of course, 3 business days passed, and you know how that turned out. So it's just nothing but time wasting.